Welcome to Remnant Priests Channel. This video is specially prepared to bless your life. So do well to like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell to get notified when we make a new post. Remain blessed.
When I was in school, I said, I want to stay in the hostel. In fact, my mom sent me to the hostel. I said, go to the hostel so that you can experience life, how life is out there. You've been, in the house all these years, go and experience school. And I was like, I don't want to go. Only child for 15 years. I don't want to go. Well, okay, we'll go. I went. First year, I gyrated for the whole of my year one. Went to parties. I'm sure some of you are looking at me and say, yes. Went to parties, went for all kinds of parties because I was just coming out and I wanted to know this life. I've been hearing this thing. Let me try it out. And I was somebody who could dance very well. Dance was my name from a very young age. There was no party I went to that I never got the first position. They used to give position. There's no dancing chair. What they call those things that I would do. That I was small, so it was just swift for me and just put my sit down. There's nobody that will win me because from home I've targeted that I must come back with the prize. Even if it's Guguru that is the prize, I'll come back with it. So I wanted to be social. I wanted to come out. I wanted to taste life. And that was how it was. It was my 200 level. Someone now, God bless the man. One Pastor Feyi, wherever you are, in case one day you see this message. This is what I have become. And I thank you for coming after me. Yes. In that library, that day, I went to the library to read. I was dressed in a very funny way. It's life now. I was dressed in a very funny way. I went to the library to read, and I didn't know that this man was this pastor was a student pastor. He was just targeting me. I got up and I was going. He followed me, got to the staircase in ABU library then. And then he just came and started speaking to me about the love of Christ. I was just like, I know that I came out from a Christian home. Oh yes, we have heard these things. Then he continued talking. I don't even know what glued me there. And somehow my heart started submitting to what he was saying. Suddenly, my whole world just fell. It was at that point he had gotten me. And that was how my journey started in God. When the Lord moves you to speak to people, please speak. You don't know who you are saving that will save thousands. That one person you saw, just that one person that you meet and you spoke to about God, you don't know you have triggered something great. All the people now that, yes, I can speak to, and by the word of God through my mouth have changed and turned. Of course, credits will also go to him. And all those who have worked on my life, credits will go to him. Now, for credit to come to me is the ones that I have worked on after. Praise the Lord. The ones that I have labored on, those are where the credit will come to. So there's always credit that goes to the laborers at each point. Whether they came at the 8th hour or the 11th hour of your life, there's credit. And so these parties, I was always in them. I liked it. And then one of those days, it was there that I found Jesus. As I found Jesus in that place, I now started wanting to do what he wants me to do. The Bible has been there all the while. All these things have been there. I've been reading them. But life never came out for me at them because my heart wasn't open to the word. But at this point, my heart was open. And I received it. And I thank God. And he started changing my own life. From someone who is trying to defend yourself in everything. You have a defense for everything everybody says. The correction they are bringing to you, have a defense for it. Until that fire started working in my life. Then I stopped defending myself. I got married to my husband's home. And most of my refining started from there. Coming into a house. First of all, I looked at the house when we first came. The way to the house, I said, which kind of place? This was the first time I was living outside the campus environment. I'm like, which kind of place are we going to like this? There was a dump site somewhere. There was all kinds of things. And, Apostle has talked about that house. Say, water is too. The flood passes through the center of the parlor. And where I was coming from was a very large place. Very, very large place. Then coming to that place, it's like, God, I know it is your will, but I still stayed through the process. I said, okay, if this is where the man of God, bring me, no problem. We will adjust. In life, there are adjustments he will make. And that's why I teach the ladies who stay with me. I try to teach them some things. I'm like, you need to learn how to do this, learn how to do that, because your husband might not have this money for this thing you are enjoying in this house right now. We had blender, we had things. I'll say, use the mortar to pound. At some point, I'll say, use the grinding stone. Yes, use the grinding stone. What if you find yourself in the village one day, there's no lights there? The mortar you didn't find, it's only grinding, so we'll not cook, we'll not eat. But you see, ladies look for high things. Okay, just buy me this, buy me that, buy me this. This man must provide this for me, must provide that. But what if it's not a course? But everybody's hand is not equal. So I had to teach them those things. Many people living with me, all kinds of character from that point. There was a lot I needed to learn. You give off your private place. Many things. Sometimes you receive some insults. All kinds of talk. You shake your head. The only place you can go to is your room and go and cry there small. Then come out like you're a bold lion. Many trainings. When I had passed the test for that one, then we moved to another place. At the time we left that house, God now helped us to build a tent. For some of you who know the tent. And God didn't allow my husband to build a personal house until he had built the tent. And so he built the tent and we started there. All this while it was in the house. People will come, will pray till 8. 8, go now. You not go. You want counseling. You want this one. You want that one. Some just want to gist with apostle. Meanwhile, we are there. We did not see you since morning. You went to work. You came back by 4. Then we are preparing for meeting. Then prayer starts. Then counseling continues. Then gisting enters. Then everybody started going to sleep. So at that point, I was like, do we even have a life in this house? Do we have a life? But you see, through the whole thing, I was learning some form of perseverance, long suffering. There's some things I just had to endure. And of course, those people who were coming for those counseling, and when I see them today, I'm happy that I gave them that chance to be who they are today through the seemingly counseling that doesn't look like anything. To me, it's like you're taking my space. But I thank God for what God is doing in their lives today. So imagine if I had 40 and say, no. But that was the church at that point. We didn't have any other church until the tent was built. So that season was another season. The other season was another season. Then the house was built. Built a bigger house. Then that means more room for more people. That's what it translated into. Then more people. There was a time where I think it was coppers we camped in our house. We were like 50. Yes, 50 in that house for contact. Yes, my husband would say, everywhere is a bed. Everywhere. Say, minimum comforts. Yes. You say minimum comfort. Maximum spirits, minimum comfort. That one pass, that face. Oh, the things too. You endure. Okay. To a time that you're not fighting it again. Because why? Your heart has been enlarged. And some things that are troubling you before, after a while, they don't seem like they're anything because you have grown past it. So that's what process does to you. The very things that easily beset you, they are things that you have overcome and they become like nothing. Those are things that when Satan comes, brings to your face as if you are just bringing what I have. This is like a toy now. Praise God. You allow, go through process. And then I was so used to that until when suddenly the embassy was built. God now said, build me this house. The picture was there in his mind and he built it. And it was a time when people say there's a casting down. That was when he built there. As he finished building the embassy, then God now to say, that house, your house, build it now. And that was when he now built the house where we live today. And I didn't know that because I was like, okay, maybe I was already getting used to the life because it was a life that was there from my marriage. He came. I said, no, this time it's just me and my family. I was shocked. I think, oh, really? It was like a movie, like a dream. Like, wait, is it that season has finished? When? How? So the times that you want it to finish, that's when it will just be increasing. That means that thing that is supposed to have died has not died. But the moment you are, okay, you have let go, then you have learned what you need to learn, then you see that season will just end. That was how I came to learn it. He said, yes, now just me and my family. And then now my children can have their own room. They didn't have their own room before. They used to sleep in the study, sleep on the ground, sleep there because girls had their room, boys had their room, no space. We sleep in their father's study on the ground all these years. Just until last year, or is it this year? That they now finally had. They will ask me, oh, we don't have a room. And sometimes I used to think about it. I say, me, when I was growing up, I had a large room to myself with a toilet, everything. No, my children don't have. I was just like, I had to talk to them and tell them that, see, this is your own cross, your own price to pay. So everybody's working. Me, I'm working my own. Yeah? Your father is working his own so hard. So if they check all the equation, where is your own? So this your own. This one is your own. And they'll just keep quiet and just say, okay. And then when they finally got that house where we moved to, if you see the way they were running up and down, excited, saying, hey, this is my room, hey, that is my room. I was just looking at them. I said, God always has a plan. But most times we don't see it. We only see the now, and then we start grumbling, we start complaining, not knowing that God has a better place for you ahead. But just go through the process. Learn what you need to learn. As you learn those things, you learn selflessness in it. You learn greed leaves you. Envy leaves you. Pride leaves you. All those things begin to fall off from your life. My family at a point, it was as if I wanted to be dependent. It came to a point like that. But this fire was working. He was working something in the future, but he started now. And what was that thing he was working? He wanted me to be dependent on him and him alone. Because times of very serious decision making was coming. And if I have not gotten that right, every other thing in my life will be wrong. So he had started working on that. He worked on, when I was going, many things. One of them was going for service. And then my parents wanted to work my service. That was where one of the things. And one day I had just come from prayer. I entered the house and I jammed them. I just met them discussing my issue at a round table with my uncle who was working in NYC in Abuja at the time, and my parents. I entered at the right time. I don't know where the boldness came. I said, I don't want anybody to work my service for me. I want to go where the Lord wants me to go. And that was how they just stopped and were looking at me. That boldness, I don't know where it came from, really. It was God. I went upstairs. So everybody let go. They stopped working anything. Then it came out. When NYC, the letter came out, where did they post me to? Abia State. My heart started beating. I've never been to the East before in all my life. I grew up in the North. Then I remember that day my mom said, she was laughing at me. She said, it's the same place they sent your auntie to. That Isi Alangwa. They used to eat human beings. The other day your auntie said it was just copper's boots they found. So my heart skipped. I was just like putting up a bold face. Having confidence, but inside there, I was thinking of the devouring people. I said, God, have mercy. But you will go with me, Lord. You said you will go with me everywhere that you have sent me to. You will go with me. That was how I went to Abia. Where they posted me to. Hey, it's the thickest of the thickest forest. Is it forest or village? Village. I had never, somebody who grew up in a university environment all my life, and suddenly you are in the village. You've never been in such a village. The next house is so far from you. All around this bush, plantations. If you look here, plantation, look there. You are there alone. And I'm like, God, should I just show like, okay, maybe they should just walk this thing, shall? Or should I just go? But the boldness came. I said, let's go. And I went there. I served there. I suffered there, oh God. I suffered there. Because it was away from the main town. I was even calculating that, okay, maybe I'll stay in Umuahia and just be going there. How much were we paid at the time? Was it not something like 9,000 then? Something like 9,000. How much will you use? I had to stay. The room that was given to me was like, where they used to keep chicken, something like that. It was so small and tiny, one small window. But I stayed there. When I'm thinking of my big room in my father's house and how I will have stayed in Abuja and all these things, and later I'll just say, okay, I'm already here now, I can't change it. Let's go. Whatever the dealing is, I'm here already. And truly. Until one day I saw a white woman. She was from Scotland. This white woman married an Igbo man. She was a missionary. And she was living life as if she's in Scotland. As in, nothing really mattered. She was just doing her thing. I said, wait, no be Oyinbo be this. How is she enjoying this village? So I went to visit her. And she was so excited. Because I had exposure so we could talk. She was so excited. Then she now said, okay, that she even has one room in her compound that I can come and stay. Hey, that was how God just began to help me. So I quickly went and packed from my chicken house and moved in a hurry to that place. I used to gist with the woman, used to talk. So I started having that faith. I said that if Oyinbo, as we call it in Africa, can stay here, why can't I? Are we not human beings? That's how my heart calmed down. Then I started loving the children. Before, I didn't love them all. All I know is when the woman brought us, it was a very big woman. She sat on that bag. They put me in front. She sat at the back. And then we're just going zoo to the... When we reached here, the children were so excited to see me. Copper. They were coming out. What was coming out of my eyes? Tears. Which kind of copper? Copper what? In this place? In my mind, I was just saying, Lord, they should reject me. Reject me from here in a hurry. I say, no. But you see, I couldn't run away because this woman, she's the one who went to the airline then, or I don't know what they call the coordinator, and said she needed coppers. Then they called us because they had rejected us from our NGO where we'll have enjoyed. It was process God wanted to take me through. I'll have enjoyed the process. This woman just came and packed us. We're 3, 2 boys and myself, 1 girl. And then we went to the village on bike. As we reached there, I said, which copper? Immediately, because as at that time, we're already cutting. And my husband now, we're cutting. I quickly called him. With tears in my eyes, I said, hey, Arome, I want to be rejected from this village. I want to be rejected. I cannot stay. I can't stay here. He said, calm down. I said, I can't stay here no matter what. Hey, just keep down your spirit in there. Keep it. I can't stay here. I can't. He said, calm down. You are going to serve in that place. I said, serve what? He said, just calm down. Do as I say. Just listen to me. And I said, okay. So that's when I decided to stay. Then after a while, I started enjoying the children. Then I started doing something like Bible club. Then I started following up 1 or 2 people, and all that. I stayed in that village. Plus the fact that they didn't pay us our money. I had gone 7 months in suffering in that place. But at that point, I had accepted the suffering because I had never lived in a place where you have to be cooking outside and all that. Put fire. I was seeing it when those small children in the village were doing it. It was so easy. I said, okay, it's easy now. Not to put 2 sticks and put fire. They now left. They went for Christmas. They didn't come on time. I came and they didn't tell me they won't be around. I used to use them to on the fire. I was on my own. And I said, God, hunger. I said, what will I do? That was before I moved to the white woman's compound. I said, what will I do? I said, it's sticks now. Put sticks. I carry sticks. I carry matches. I did smoke in my eye. I was crying. I'm putting pots. I said, what will I put inside this thing now? This macaroni that I'm cooking in the village. I went. The woman had an ugu farm. I went and plucked ugu. And I said, continue this inside with tears in my eyes. Then I finished. I ate it half cooked. It was not even cooked. I ate it like that. Then that night, I said, how will I stay in this village? These children are not around. The father didn't come back from Christmas. How will I stay here? I said, God will help me. Another test. One of the guys he was living life. He came from Edo State, but he just balanced in that village. People used to bring him gari, palm oil. He was like a landlord. I said, how is this guy just settled here? The guy even bought TV. He balanced. So, since he's one of my colleagues, I'll go there. We just gist. I was the only girl. Everywhere was boring. So, the other one didn't come. He came. I went to his place. And I was thinking of how I'm going to sleep in that other compound. There's nobody. Then this other guy is living in a compound where there are people. So I'm like, this place was even better than that my place. Something might catch me there in the night too. Let me see. Then the guy now said, and this guy used to like me, when we're in camp. He liked me. It was always, I was just saying, I'm in a relationship. They don't used to hear, even the soldiers didn't used to hear whether you're in a relationship, they'll still be following. So there was one young man I had to grab on my side. We're just friends. So I used to pose with him as my guy. I just pose with him so that every other that are looking, they will just face away. So all the while, everybody had always thought that this guy and this girl were together for a year. Even if he was trying, it didn't work, but we are friends. I'm using you as a shield. And that was how we did. So that guy now was the one they now posted with me to that place. And he was living large. Me, I was in this corner with fear and everything. Then that night came, and then it was like, it's either you sleep here or you sleep. Then he was like, Dinna, how are you going to do that? Your place is so quiet. Are you going to be able to stay there? With that madman that is always moving around. He even made more fear. Fear. I said, I will stay. There's no problem. God is with me. I will stay. There's fear inside. Then he said, but you can stay here. I can give you my mattress. Me, I'll sleep on the floor. I will do like this. Don't worry, everything will be fine. In my heart, I just said, Dinna, this is a trap. It's better you go and face that madman. If it's madman of Gadara, I will go and face him like that, than to stay here out of fear, then fall into another trap. That was a test. I don't know how I passed that. I went in the darkness. It was no light, no his village. There was no street light, nothing. He escorted me just to the front because I'm sure he wasn't happy that I was leaving. He said he has movies, he has this. I said, don't worry. He has food, I said, don't worry. We will go like that. That's my firewood. I will use it like that. And I went. That night, You know, there's no serious toilet. There's something that looks like a pit. Quickly. By 6, I've done everything I want to do concerning easing myself, so that nothing carries me outside the night that you want to use yourself. In which darkness? We'll stay inside here. And that night, I was so afraid, but I prayed. And somehow, almost every 1 hour, their dog was around. So the dog came to sit by the door. And he was at that door. Every almost 1 hour, he will make a sound. I don't know whether to show me that I'm not the only one inside, or in they here too. And every time now, until I slept off. The morning, it was the rising of the sun that woke me up. And as I woke up, I heard a voice saying, okay, what devoured you now? So from that day, I was never afraid of the dark. I'm not alone. Different tests. I went through in that village. So I knew that it was for something, but I don't know. I was just like, God, quickly, let this thing pass. Let it pass quick. I know there's something in front, but I don't know what it is, but let it pass quick. And truly, at the end of this whole service, God began to do something. I was among 11 people that were called for awards. So I was like, this award. Award. I said, award for what? In my mind, I was like, it was later. God was awarding me for staying through process. Through that. Then all the money they've been owing me, it was not lost. Imagine going to go and look for what wasn't lost. Many of us look for things that are not lost. Honestly, that money was saving. He saved 60K for a couple who is earning 9K. 60,000 gave us cash that day, plus the award money added to it, plus the award from the local government, from the award from the state. I was just bagging it. I said, is it me like this that stayed in village? This village is sweet, oh. But you see, one thing is staying through process. God rewards you for that. God rewards you for that. It might not look like it's a reward, that you even get a reward out of this, but God rewards you for that. So stay through process. Don't be a vessel of clay or a vessel of wood, a vessel of silver, of gold. God wants us to be like gold and silver, strong, durable, resilient, and prepared for every good work. Ultimately, it is to receive a victor's crown, just like in James 1:12. At the end, God rewards you for your faith in staying through the process.
Thank you for joining us today on Remnant Priests Channel. We hope the message you received has touched your heart and uplifted your spirit. Remember, in times of joy or challenge, faith is our steadfast anchor. Let's continue to share love, kindness, and the word of God to all corners of the earth. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring content. Until we meet again, remain blessed.